Hey there, how's it going? Welcome to another episode of the John Graves Show. You know, I really like the idea behind Justice League versus the Teen Titans, or switch that title if that's the way how you say it. But there are some pros to this from what I do like, and of course the animations is always as wonderful as ever. And pretty much, I will be fair, like watching this did actually kind of make me appreciate the original Teen Titans version of this, of talking about the whole Trigon story and everything. And this one, I believe that this one is sort of based off of the New 52 version, just like how most of these other stories are, but because the original Raven story was the original Trigon Rising story and everything really wasn't all that bad. It was actually like something that did take some time in the original comic to sort of build, and I actually liked it during the Teen Titans run of them actually using Slade and sort of getting the story across that way of Trigon actually winning, and then you will kind of understand that one. But for this one, of course, it's another story that does revolve around Damian, and it did kind of piss me off a little bit, to where that Dick Grayson was sort of thrown to the sideline and used as just like a filler character or some shit like that, which was kind of did kind of piss me off. But if I think about it, it's like, yeah, that's kind of what they've been doing to Starfire for like the past like 2 movies, So pretty much kind of jumping like headfirst into this story, though, is that, of course, like Batman is working with with the Justice League and shit, and of course he has Damian with him, and Damian's whole fucking thing is that he thinks that his potential is squandered because he wants to do more than just like direct traffic and shit and tell people like where in the fuck to go. Stuff like that, because he wants to get into the fight, and he says that they're not really they're not really using his abilities to their best. And of course, Batman sends him away to fucking Titans West. Titans Tower West. Of course, and when he gets there, he's a straight up dick, to the point to where that fucking to the point to where that Blue Beetle actually wants to melt his fucking face off. Something that I really don't have a problem with, because this is probably one of the worst fucking adaptations of Damian's character early on. It gets better later on, but still early on, he was being like a super dick, of course. And of course, everything kind of plays out the same way it does, all the way up until when like they kind of get attacked by Trigon's minions, and then we learn the super mega ultra like story to why Raven is where she's at, what happened to her parents and stuff like that. And it feels as though as that it really is the fucking like it is the New 52 run, except for I think for that one, Raven kind of went back with Trigon, and she actually killed him and took his power, and that the only reason why she's actually with the League now, or at least like she's with the Teen Titans now, is because she just wants normal ass friends, because really she's bored conquering her own dimension, and she really wants she liked her time upon Earth and stuff. But that isn't the case here, as it's kind of a little bit a mix of the original Teen Titan story with something a little bit newer in it, of saying that Trigon's demons actually take over the bodies of the Justice League, and of course, they kind of prompt for his resurrection. And when he does come back, the Justice League are the ones to actually try and like hold him off, while they actually go and find like the summon stones to like summon him back down to hell and keep him there, to keep him down there, which isn't all that fucking easy, especially since like that once they go down there, they do kind of have to deal with the whole thing of all these crazy demons and everything. And it's actually nice to see Ra's al Ghul again. And I think that this is supposed to be either an Easter egg or a rewrite or some shit like that. But apparently, like the Lazarus Pits and everything that is going on with Ra's al Ghul was supposed to be tied into Trigon, because he's a benevolent demon who wants to take over the world and take away all the evil. Now, you could say that this probably is just a hologram or some shit like, well, not a hologram, like a manifestation or something, like physical manifestation or something like that. But if not, did they just try and say that Ra's al Ghul actually worships Trigon? You could have fucking fooled. You could have fooled me. But either way, when it jumps from that though, it does kind of have its own little wonderful payoff, and I do like the ending of this because it does kind of feel way more like, it feels more like the original Teen Titans, like at the end of the episode, compared to how it was gonna be like at the beginning. Because in the beginning, I don't know what it was. It was doing something else. In the end, it's the original Teen Titans, which did kind of piss me off. Again, the Nightwing wasn't in it. And if I can actually compare this Trigon story to the original Teen Titans one, yeah, I do kind of like the original Teen Titans run better, probably because they used every single fucking character, and it actually had a little bit more suspense thrown into it in terms of them bringing back a very ancient villain such as Slade, or in this case Deathstroke, and him doing whatever he had to do to get his life back or his humanity back, which really wasn't all that bad. In terms of looking at what this one does, though, it does have a whole bunch of crazy, shocking moments and a lot of cool ass imagery. And what it does have over the original is the fact that it does have a backstory for Azarath, which is actually pretty nice to see. Other than that, though, it was pretty tame. You know, like Trigon came, was a dick, then got pulled back down to hell by fucking Raven's like dark god bird. You know, you kind of really don't see too many You kind of really don't see her getting like too much of a boost of power in terms of her like summoning up like her little like demon half. You don't really see that all that often. Also, on top of that, like the connection of her power is more or less like hers is just sort of just naturally magic in this one, and it feeds off people's emotions rather than it being something which came directly from Trigon, or at least inspired by something that comes from Trigon and also Hell like in the original. And of course, like some of her better power comes from like the good magic of Azarath. So the original in terms of how her magic works versus like how it is now, which I think is more akin to the comic. Both of those are pretty okay. But until then, I'll see you next time on the Next John Graves Show. Please keep watching anime, keep playing video games, and I'll see you next time on the Next John Graves Show. Sorry for making it so long. I'll see you next time. I'm out.